Okay, welcome again. Just arrived this morning is this, the 921B oscillator, as well as the 921A oscillator driver. Now, the first thing that struck me when it came was the size of this box, because it's not the first. These aren't the first Behringer System 55 modules I've bought. I've also got the 921 standalone VCO. Now let's compare boxes. As you can see, it's considerably, the 921B has a considerably larger box. As well as the box being larger, the packaging, let's have a look. I did have a sneak peek when it came, but I haven't actually got it out yet. Who misses? The packaging is a lot more substantial than the 921 I got, which just came with wibble wrap and some silica little pellets to stop the damp from getting to it. There's no anti-static protective wrapper like this is coming. So yeah, this is a step up. It's an anti-static wrap, and it's also got some polystyrene protection on the edges and top and bottom as well. Standard screws, power connection, no manual. Now, if we can find them, a couple of the units I got did come with quick start guides. That was the mixer and the 904A low pass filter. The rest didn't. But you know, no great shakes. I guess you can get it online, or you should be able to get it online. Although, having said that, when I looked for the quick start guide to this, it wasn't on the website page, the Behringer Music, or should I say Music Tribe website page that is dedicated and made for this unit. So I had to do a Google search, and I did find it tucked away on a Music Tribe web page somewhere, the PDF, so I was able to download it. Whether the quick start guide is now obsolete, I don't know. The reason I say that is because, as you may or may not know from a previous video, I was having some issues with the 921 and calibrating it, and the scale trimmer on the back running out of range, so I wasn't able to get it to the 1 volt per octave scale range that you need, you know, to use it musically. We're using a Western scale, chromatic scales. The reply I got for them when I sent them an email, the support guys at Behringer, or Behringer, or however you pronounce it, he said to me, "Oh yes, it looks like there's an issue with your unit and you followed the instructions correctly," because I sent him a video. You got two options: either send it direct to us or send it back to us via the people that he bought it, which would be quicker. So that's what I did. I went and sent it back to the shop I bought it from. But he also said that it could potentially be a problem with their instructions, quick start guide, or it could just be a problem with the unit, or I don't know, they need to investigate it. But that made me think, well, is there something wrong with the quick start guide for this, since it's not actually on there? Or is it that it's just sloppy website management? I know they've recently updated a lot of the Music Tribe website, so a lot of stuff's been not working properly. It took me ages to sign up, to register an account, to actually get in touch with support. For ages I was trying to set up a new account using my email address, and every time I typed in or every time I created a password and typed it in again, even though I'd done it correctly, it said it was wrong and did not match, which was very frustrating. So in the end, the only get around was to basically sign up via my my Facebook account. Now, a paranoid sort of person might think, oh, is that done purposely so they can get hold of everyone's Facebook accounts and promote their gear? Now, maybe this is a wild conjecture, and I'm not being fair on Behringer, and it is just a technical issue with signing up. But it makes you think, especially since they're not getting promotion via the usual music technology press. Anyway, that aside. Okay, so it's come in the post today. It's come surprisingly well packaged compared to the other stuff I've got. Whether they've had any problems with this unit in the past and they've updated the packaging. It seems funny that the rest of the stuff I got didn't come with anti-static protective wrap, but this has, but we'll see. So let's have a quick look at it then. And there she is. What a beauty. Nice brushed metal finish. Oh, and I was umming and ahhing for ages whether to go for the AB units, the driver and the oscillators, the B oscillators, because it's virtually double the price of the standalone oscillator. Also, I discovered the other day, the standalone oscillator, you can do sync with it. You can sync it with other oscillators using the clamp point and trigger. It's quite an interesting feature, actually. Moog's take on sync. Obviously, this was done in the early days when all this kind of stuff was new and there's no kind of standard set in place yet. But from those that Moog set, the standards that Moog set, which are still hold to this day, a lot of them, most of them. But yeah, it's an interesting feature, that sync on the 921, the clamping point. I'll do a video on it. It's yeah. But anyway, going back to this, I was reading up on the sync on this, and the sync, whereas the 921 actually does what the normal kind of hard sync that we expect from synths these days. The type of sync on these only has a certain frequency range that it works in. Beyond that, it doesn't work. So those kind of enveloped pitch, for want of a better word, effects that are associated with hard sync and lead sounds with hard sync, you can't do on this. So basically, the only main function of sync on these units is to stop the kind of out of tune beating effect, and to keep it locked in tune with other oscillators. Now, I can understand back in the day it was an issue because obviously oscillators tended to drift more, and so having multiple oscillators on a single patch sound could cause issues. So hence sync was invented. We'll see how it interacts with the 921. This. Now I'm thinking I might end up having to send these back because I'm getting another 921. But I'll try them out and see, and I'll try not to get any rack rash on them by using some washers. But yeah, the 921's got a lot more features. It has a lot more features than this. It's got the auxiliary out, which is good for syncing. which is an amplified signal as well. I was reading about if you want to sync these, apparently you have to amplify the signal first before you plug it into another oscillator to sync it, because the level that it's at unamplified is not loud enough for the sync to work properly, apparently. So that's another input and output on the mixer used up. But yeah, so first things first, I've got to get this calibrated. So I'll set up the what I need to do, and we'll see how it calibrates. Okay, so on to tuning the 921B. I've set up the 21A, 921A in my rack already, and it should be outputting minus 2 volts, negative 2 volts. So let's just check that with the multimeter first. Right, I can see that. So I'm just checking the jack that's plugged into the frequency out of the A oscillator driver. This is what they recommend in the manual to use, or should I say the quick start guide. Oh, these bloody awkward these are. Right. There you go. Minus 2, negative 2 exactly. Right. Moving swiftly on. Next step. So power up the 921B module. Good point. I need to power it up. Okay, so I'll just grab the power cable. Plug it in, make sure everything's off first before I plug it in. Try and find a empty power socket. That'll do nicely. Check everything's, yep, and power it back up again. Right. So now prepare the following. Set the sync toggle to the center off position. Right, setting off. Set the range to 2. So that's on 2 now. Set the frequency control knob to exactly 0 on the scale. Right. Make sure no link frequency jacks are connected yet. Note all adjustment trimmers are accessible on the 921B modules underside. Note the positions of the frequency adjust, scale, high adjust, multimeter trimmers, and the octave adjust trimmer, single turn trimmer. Oh, that's a new one, the octave adjust. Didn't have that on the 921. Make sure you have suitable tools to adjust the trimmers required. Yep. So let's have a look where these trimmers are. There they all are. So first one's the frequency adjust, next one's the high adjust, and the third one's the scale. Scale, high adjust, frequency adjust, and scale. Right. Carry out an initial frequency control calibration by adjusting the frequency trimmer so that the 921B sawtooth output show exactly 640 hertz. Okay, let's get my tuner up. Where are we? Just to check I've got everything right. So frequency not to exactly 0. Yep. 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 Okay, so adjust the frequency, adjust trimmer so that shows exactly 640 hertz. It's not far off actually now. So it's looking promising. Exactly 640. Right, fine tune the 921B oscillator's low frequency scaling via the following steps. Make sure frequency knob control remains at 0. Yep. Apply exactly to -2 volts at the link frequency. Turn the scale trimmer to set the 160 hertz, which is it's already at 160 hertz. Repeat this cycle until both the 160 and yeah. So it's already calibrated. It's already well calibrated. So yeah, that's a pleasant surprise after the first one. I don't need to do any work, it's already calibrated fine. So whatever they're doing right now, if this is an updated one. So yeah, on to making some music. Fantastic. But oh yeah, so yeah, normally what you'd have to do is you'd have to keep on going back and forth, adjusting your trimmer, taking out the negative 2 volts until you got it to that point where you plug it in and you get what was it? You get 160. You plug it out, you get 640 without having to adjust anything, and that's and then at that point it's accurate to 1 volt per octave. But like I say, I didn't need to do anything. It's absolutely fine. So I hope the replacement 921's like that as well. Right, so the eagle-eyed amongst you probably realised or noticed that I hadn't finished the calibration process. I'd only done 1/3 of it, but I was that kind of surprised that it was already set and I didn't have to do anything for that first step, that I totally forgot about doing the rest of it, and I plugged it in, and then I realised, oh hang on, I hadn't finished under the other 2 trimmers yet. Tested them, but by that point I'd already screwed it into my rack. So I got out the old micro brute and tested it, and it is actually fully calibrated right out the box. It's working fine. I can demonstrate this to you now. So yeah, it's just a simple gate trigger at the moment and pitch. So we've got 1C. Again. Yeah, it's sounding pretty good to my ears. I basically, well, it's going to be, for the time being, it's going to be running from the ES3 from my computer, so it's going to be kind of calibrated to work with MIDI anyway. But it's looking okay, and when I got other equipment where, you know, perhaps a sequencer and whatnot, I won't have to worry too much. Okay, it might have drifted out a bit by then, but you know, at least the trimmer works, and I can probably, you know, get it back in range again. So yeah, big thumbs up to Behringer. No problems with that oscillator. Yeah, thanks. The next video I do will probably be on the sync capabilities of the 2 oscillators rather than the driver, because like I said in the previous video, well no, actually not the previous video, the previous part of this video, there's some interesting features of the sync, the clamping, clamp point sync of the 921 that I'd like to explore a bit and show you guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. Any questions or anything, drop a comment in the comment section and I'll try and get back to you. Check out my other videos if you haven't seen them on the System 55, what I've got so far. I plan to basically keep on doing videos. I've also got some DIY kits that I'm going to make videos of. If anyone's interested in doing any DIY modules, I've got a rather interesting filter, a multi-mode filter, and I've also got a contact mic as well, a nice easy project for beginners. I've got a bit of welding experience, so I'm not a complete beginner, but I'm not far off. So yeah, check you later. Ta-ra.